Hello. Hi, Miss Iris. How are you? Hi, Edward Smart. How are you? Hi, Tech Now Girl. Oh, we got a Gigi raid. Oh, wow. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me for story time. Hi, Furnace. How are you? Welcome to the live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you all for joining me. Did everybody have a good day? Kind of losing my voice here. I should have made me some hot tea or something. I didn't get a chance to. I hope everybody had a good day. Techno girl, I'm fine. I'm fine. I was a little tired today, but I still wanted to come on and do my story time. I'm kind of losing my voice. I don't know what that's all about. I appreciate you all for joining me. Thank you so much. Techno girl says, I've been sad, but I feel much better now. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that you were sad. Oh, man. I guess we all have those kind of days, but I'm glad you're in a little better spirits. We have those days. I was sad the last time I did my story time. Okay, love the fireplace. Thank you. Actually, I'm at a friend's house. The fireplace from the last video was at my house. So you probably, if you've been watching the different story times, probably saw different fireplaces. One of the fireplaces, this one is at a friend of mine. There's another good friend that I have, and I had chemo Thursday, and so the chemo kind of zaps my energy, and so between that and the pain, what happens is I find myself staying in the bed a lot, and so she'll bring me over to her house. This was the friend that I had told you all had a class on Wednesday and was gonna try to pick me up from chemo, but she wound up canceling her class entirely and took me to chemo Thursday the whole day. So I was just so moved by that. Such a sweet friend, her and Gigi, and so she brought me. I'm here at her house now, because what happens is she'll cook and stuff, breakfast and stuff, and dinner and stuff, and see to it that I eat, because I don't have enough energy to stand at the stove. So that's whose fireplace this is. Mine is the one that we were last on Wednesday night, and the one where you see the candles, the red candles in the fireplace. That's Gigi's house. Hi Gigi, how are you? So glad you could make it. How are you? Vernice says, please be kind and thumbs up. Thank you so much, Vernice. Thank you for that reminder. Techno Girl says, I'm sorry, this is my first time. That's okay. I'm just glad you decided to stop by. You know, a lot of times I get people where it's their first time in story time. So that's to be expected. You know, we all have so many rounds we're trying to make out there in those YouTube streets. Techno Girl says, hey to Vernice Junk Closet and to Gigi Gluten Free Lab. Wolfman Gaming. Hi, Wolfman. I missed you, Wolfman. I'm so glad you made it in tonight to story time. How have you been? Techno Girl says, how you feeling, baby? I'm pretty good today. Like I said, just a little fatigue, but not a lot of pain. A little bit in the hips, but not a lot of pain. So it's a pretty good day. Vernice is speaking to Techno Girl. Vernice says, please share the stream out if you can. Thank you, Vernice. Wolfman Gaming says, been terrible. Yeah, Wolfman, I had a terrible day too. Last Wednesday, I had a terrible day. So we're going to have those days, you know. And you see, Techno Girl said, had a bad day too, and it's getting better. We just have to put our best face forward and our best foot forward. Gigi saying hello to Techno Girl. Thank you all so much for coming to join me for story time. I appreciate your patience. I didn't do it yesterday because I felt more of the side effects from chemo, as well as I wanted to celebrate my girl Gigi's 1K. So we had a ball at my house with her fixing that food. That food was on point with that fried fish and jumbo shrimp and coleslaw and stuff. Oh man, that food was good. Rico was trying to kill my appetite, talking about them daggone bugs. I told him it wasn't going down like that. He wasn't gonna kill my appetite. But Gigi, how they say, Gigi put a hurt on that food. I'm telling you, that was good. That was good. Gigi says, I just shared you out. Thank you, sis. And Gigi said hello to Techno Girl. Techno Girl says, you are so beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you. Well, I'm not going to prolong the time, you all. I'm going to go ahead and dive right into our story, loving on you right now. I sure appreciate your love. I'm telling you, I'm sending love vibes back at you. Everybody in this live, I'm sending love back at them. Such a wonderful group of people. I'm going to go ahead and get started with our story so I can try to get to bed. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Gigi and Vernis, thank you all so much for being my mods. Hi, 50 Plus. How are you? I hope you had a good day. Hi, Cindy. Love you back. How are you? I hope you had a good day. Welcome to the live. Thank you all for joining me for story time. Gigi speaking to 50 Plus. Don't forget to thumbs up the live. I really appreciate it. I'm doing good and find yourself. I'm good, 50 Plus, just a little tired. But for the most part, I'm good. Yesterday was a little rougher day, but I got hyped for Gigi's celebration on yesterday. So today I'm just a little tired, but it's a good day. I don't know why I'm trying to lose my voice. I guess it's because I forgot the chemo does give you allergy type symptoms. So I guess that must be what it is. And I got to get some more Claritin for that. But I'm going to go ahead and get started with our story. And anybody who I missed or wasn't here before I started, then I'll shout them out, speak to them before I leave out. One day, Righteous Doe was born. Her mother, whose name was Pat Jones, washed her all over with her tongue. Righteous Doe, she said, my little righteous doe. The young Righteous Doe was curious about everything. She learned who she was, who her mother was, and her friends. She learned there were others like them in the Barrel Boy Woods, and someday she would meet them if she could. She learned the trails her mother, Pat Jones, followed were made by others in the Barrel Boy Woods. There were bugs and critters, sounds and smells, and so many wonders to explore, she felt. Sometimes on a trail, suddenly her mother, Pat Jones, would stop still. She would open her ears wide and listen from all directions. First over here and then over there. Righteous Doe would wait. At last, when she said, "It's all right. There's no danger in sight. We can go." Then the two of them would start on the trail again. But Righteous Doe did not know why they had to do this. One day, her mother, Pat Jones, took her to the meadow for the first time. She started to run out to the open clearing, but she jumped right in front of her just in time. "Stop," she said. "Stay here. I must go out first ahead of you, my dear. Wait till I call for you. But if I start to run, you must turn around and run back into the Barrable Woods very fast. Do not stop. Do you understand?" "I see," said Righteous Doe. Righteous Doe's mother slowly stepped out in the open meadow. She sniffed all around. She looked this way and that, alert and carefully. After a while, she said, "It's fine, Righteous Doe. Nothing to worry about. Come on out. Let's go." She bounded out to meet her. "Oh, what a very bright sun," she thought. Back in the woods, Righteous Doe had only run across a stray sunbeam every now and then. But here the hot, bright sun warmed her all over. She felt marvelous and jumped high into the air. Each time she landed on grass softer than any grass she had ever felt. She leaped back up again, over and over, without a care of injury. In some places, the flowers were so thick they made a sweet carpet. But what was that tiny thing dancing in the air? "Look, Mother," said Righteous Doe. "The flower is flying, you know." "Why, that flower must have needed to dance so much," said Righteous Doe. Righteous Doe thought that it broke right off its stem to rise up and dance in the air. "That's not a flower, Righteous Doe. Can't you tell?" said her mother, Pat Jones. "It's a butterfly." Then, chomp, chomp, chomp. Biting on a bark was a young wolf named Wolfman Gaming, sharpening its teeth. "Hello there," smiled the wolf, raising one ear. "Want to play?" "Sure," said Righteous Doe. "Then come on over here," said Wolfman Gaming. "Let's go. Catch me if you can." Wolfman dropped the wood, rolled in the grass, and then ran away as fast as he could. Righteous Doe wasn't as fast at running and jumping, but she was better at hiding, so the two of them had a very fine time. On top of the flowers, a tall, fluffy black and white tail was sliding over to them. "Why, I'd know that tail anywhere," said Wolfman Gaming. "It's my friend, Zeus the Greek Husky. He's under the flowers again." "Zeus," he called out. And sure enough, a black and white snout popped out of the flowers. "This is Righteous Doe," said Wolfman Gaming. Soon the three of them were exploring the meadow, sniffing its rich, deep smells. After a while, Wolfman Gaming and Zeus had to go home. Righteous Doe looked around and everyone was gone. "Mother, where are you?" At the far side of the meadow, she saw her with a creature that looked just like her. "Righteous Doe, come meet my sister, Lovely Key TV," called Righteous Doe's mother, "and her two little ones." Righteous Doe hopped over, hoping to have fun, with the two strangers. Two fawns, little Trisha's vlog and her brother Herb, were running in and out of their mother's legs. Trisha's vlog gave a leap and landed right in front of Righteous Doe, and they jumped back to her brother Herb, you know. With care, Righteous Doe stepped up to her. Trisha's vlog hopped off to one side and her brother Herb followed. Soon the three of them were chasing each other up and down through the meadows. Now run off and play, all of you, said Righteous Doe's mother. Every day after that, the three young ones played and chattered. They raced and they chased. They nibbled many strawberries and blueberries on the bushes. And sometimes they just talked. One day, Righteous Doe said, "Do you know what danger means?" "Something very bad," whispered her brother Herb. "But what is it?" said Righteous Doe. "I know what danger is," said Trisha's vlog. "It's what you run away from." "I see," said Righteous Doe. But soon they were chasing and playing again. They saw Righteous Doe's mother and Lovely Key TV come up with friends. "Come on now," they said. "It's time to go home." Far off at the top of a hill, two large proud deer came into view with enormous heads of antlers. Turning to them, Trisha's vlog said, "Who are they?" "Those are your fathers," said Lovely Key TV. "If you are smart and don't run into danger," said Trisha vlog and her brother Herb's mother to her son, "someday you will grow up as big and handsome as your father, and you will have antlers too." Trisha's brother Herb's heart swelled with pride. As Righteous Doe grew, she learned how to sniff the air. She could tell if her friend Wolfman Gaming was coming, or if a fox had just trotted by. She could tell if it would rain soon. One afternoon came a raging storm. Lightning flashed and thunder crashed. Righteous Doe thought the end of the world had come. But when she lay by her mother's side, all fear was gone. She felt safe. One day when Righteous Doe wandered about in the woods, she came upon a sharp, unpleasant smell. Curious, she followed it. It led to a clearing where stood a strange creature. She had never seen such a creature before. It stood up on its rear legs and more. In its two arms, it held something long and black. "Look at that," she thought. "Could it be a third leg?" The smell of the creature somehow filled her with terror. The creature raised its long black arm. In a flash, Righteous Doe's mother rushed up on him. "Run, Righteous Doe, run! As fast as you can!" Righteous Doe's mother bounded over shrubs and bushes. She kept pace beside her till they were back at their leafy home. Later, Righteous Doe's mother said, "Did you see the human?" Righteous Doe nodded yes. "That's the one who brings danger," she said. "I see," said Righteous Doe, as she dropped her head, and both of them shuddered. Righteous Doe was still growing. The first time she woke to find her mother gone from her side, she was scared deep down inside because she was used to having mommy on deck. It was early morning and still dark. "Mother, mother," she called out, of course. A large shadow approached, bigger than her mother's. Standing before a pool of moonlight, a great old buck looked proud and stern. "Who are you calling?" said the buck with a frown. "Can't you take care of yourself?" he said. Righteous Doe did not dare answer. She just lowered her head in shame. "Look up," said the old buck. "Listen to me. Watch, smell, find out for yourself what's behind the trees. You will be fine on your own." The leaves fell and Righteous Doe grew even taller. Her mother started leaving her alone more and more often, letting her meet other creatures of the Barrel Boy Woods. Trish's vlogs, her brother Herb, Wolfman Gaming, and Zeus the greedy Husky were still Righteous Doe's best friends. But she also found other creatures fascinating to watch and sometimes fun to play with. One wet winter day, the terrible smell of humans swept across the forest. The scent was so strong that there had to be many humans in a group. Most animals quickly fled out of danger, but some didn't know what to do, so they were not as lucky. With the hunters came loud noise and great power. Many animals were killed, and one of them was Righteous Doe's mother. After that terrible day, Righteous Doe felt lost. She wandered about, counting up the costs of her loss. How could this awful thing have happened? Suddenly, the great old buck stepped out in front of her. "Were you out in the meadow when it happened?" the old buck said. "Yes," said Righteous Doe as she dropped her head with sadness. "And you're not calling for your mother," said the buck. Suddenly, Righteous Doe felt full of courage. "I can take care of myself," she said, looking up. The great old buck smiled. "Listen to me," he said. "Smell, watch, learn to live, and be careful of dangers ahead. Find out for yourself. Now farewell, take care." And he vanished deep into the Barrel Boy Woods. Winter came. Strong and bitter cold winds swept through the Barrel Boy Woods. Deep snow covered the forest floor. There was little food to eat. Righteous Doe felt hungry and cold all the time and didn't quite know what to do. Nearly all the bark on the trees had been peeled away by hungry animals. Still, the cold wind blistered on day after day. Trisha's vlog's brother Herb had always been smaller than Righteous Doe and Trisha vlog. He shivered all the time. He could hardly stand up anymore. One day, a flock of crows flew overhead yelling loudly, "Caw, caw!" The geese also screamed in the sky, "Gawk, gawk!" instead. They warned of the humans coming again. Wolfman Gaming hopped up and down in alarm. "We're surrounded," he said. "They are everywhere. Come on, let's run." A single boom crashed like thunder, and one goose fell from the sky. All the other animals ran like crazy, even a tiny mouse. Another short crash like thunder, and a fox fell down on the forest floor. Bang, bang! Wolfman Gaming called out to Righteous Doe once again. "We have to get out of here." Righteous Doe and Wolfman Gaming started to bound away. But was that Trisha Vlog's brother Herb lying in the snow not very far away? Wolfman Gaming said, "Righteous Doe, where did your mother Trisha Vlog and her brother Herb go?" "I fell down," yelled brother Herb. "I'm too weak to go on." "You go on, Righteous Doe." Another young deer bounded by. "Righteous Doe, run! Bullets are flying through the sky." "Don't just stand there if you can run." She took off like the wind, and as Righteous Doe ran along, she called behind her, "I will come back for you, brother Herb." Righteous Doe ran and ran. Soon the sound that boomed as loud as thunder grew more and more faint in the distance. When Righteous Doe returned to where Trisha's Vlog brother Herb had been lying, there was no trace of him, not even his tracks. As a matter of fact, there were just big tracks. Trisha's Vlog and her mother, Lovely Key TV, were pacing around the spot. "What has become of him?" wailed Lovely KETV with the thought that someone had taken him away. But they all knew Trisha could smell it. Trisha could smell it. A human had come and had taken her brother Herb, away. Weeks passed. At last, little springs of fresh green grass popped up through the snow. Then more and more turfs of green. What was left of the snow melted away. As the trees and bushes turned green and the weather warmed, all the animals started to sing and act so oddly. Bird, and other birds flirted about 2 by 2. So many creatures, large and small, were in pairs too. His friend Wolfman Gaming spent all his time with a girl wolf and hardly noticed Righteous Doe. Even his friend Wolfman Gaming seemed in a daze, so forever staring at a girl wolf and chomping on a bark. "What's happened to my friend?" said Righteous Doe. "I am alone again." There was a rustling in the leaves behind her. There stood Trisha Vlog, but she was grown up now, like she was. Each of them was thinking, "How different you look." They gazed at each other and smiled. "It has been a long time since we saw each other," said Trisha's Vlog. "Yes, I know," said Righteous Doe. They talked of old times. "Do you remember playing tag on the meadow?" said one. "Do you remember all the berries on the bushes we ate?" said the other. The two seemed to understand each other perfectly. A fat deer came up to them sniffing the air. "Sister, don't you know me?" Trisha's Vlog and Righteous Doe turned and said, "Should we care?" Suddenly, in amazement, she called her brother Herb. They rushed up to him in joy. "So you're not dead?" Excuse me, y'all. I got to get some water. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Oh, just hold on one second. Okay, what I doing? All right. Okay, sorry about that. Where have you been? said Trisha Vlog. She said to her brother Herb. He told his story. I was with humans. I have seen a lot more than the rest of you altogether. Dogs had found him when he lay in the snow, and they barked. The human came and carried her brother Herb to the place where he lived. It was as warm as summer inside, said her brother Herb. Rain may pour outside, but not inside where humans live. It is also dry and warm. And there is always something to eat. Turnips, hay, potatoes, carrots, yum. Weren't you afraid? Said Trisha Vlog. Some, he said, but the human wouldn't hurt me. If he loves you or if you serve him, he's good to you, said her brother Herb. They all loved me there. The children petted me. The great old buck strode out from the bushes. What kind of band is that you have on your neck? It's a halter I wear, brother Herb said. It's a great honor to wear the human's halter. Be silent, said the great old buck. You poor thing, as he turned and was gone. One day when Trisha's brother Herb and Righteous Doe were together, they smelled the scent of a human aroma. We must hide at once, said Righteous Doe. No need for that, said Trisha's brother Herb, you know. The humans know me. Then all at once a sharp bang, and Trisha Vlog's brother Herb fell down. Unfortunately, the humans he talked about never came. Instead, when the scent of the human went away, Righteous Doe pulled her friend to a leafy place where he could rest and be out of danger. Righteous Doe knew what weeds his mother used. Righteous Doe knew what weeds her mother used to eat to heal a wound faster. As she brought the weeds to Trisha Vlog's brother Herb, she wondered, why must this always happen to us? Righteous Doe thought of the great old buck who had said, find out for yourself. Find out what? Trisha's Vlog and Lovely Key TV brought Trisha's brother Herb food and visited him for hours. Righteous Doe often came by too until brother Herb was healed. The words from the great old buck still rang fresh in her ears. Learn to live and be careful. Righteous Doe was starting to understand. Seasons came and went. Righteous Doe grew still taller. One day, Righteous Doe caught a new warning smell in the air. It was a hot and smoky smell. A flock of crows rushed overhead, cawing loudly. Fire! At once, the animals were running as fast as they could. It wasn't easy to run away from fire. Sometimes it seemed to rush in from different directions. After hours went by of flames and smoke, the fire started to wind down at last. The smell of the fire was fading fast. Excuse me. The great old buck stepped in front of Righteous Doe again. His head was gray now, but he still bore his antlers with pride. "Come with me," he said in a serious way. "I want to show you something before I go away." He led Righteous Doe through the woods to a burned out village. Mixed along with the smell of fire was the same awful smell of the humans that had sent terror to their hearts again and again. "Do not be frightened, my friend," said the old buck. Closer and closer they went to the village. "Look, Righteous Doe," he said. There in front of them were dozens of huts. Each one was burned, some almost to the ground, others burned mostly on the roof. The village was empty. "You see, Righteous Doe," said the old buck, "the houses of the humans get burned by fire just like us and the places where we stay in the woods. The human isn't above us. We are just the same. Do you understand me, Righteous Doe?" "I see. Fire burns the woods where we live, and it burns the villages of humans too," said Righteous Doe. "We are not so different from humans, you know. We both live under the same great powers in this world," said the great old buck. "Yes, I see," said Righteous Doe. "Do tell." "Now I can go," said the great old buck. "Don't follow me. My time is up. Goodbye. I love thee." Now Righteous Doe had become full grown herself. Sometimes she would visit the corner of the woods where she had spent her childhood. Some of the trails were still there. Once while wandering there, she saw sVlog and her brother Herb and their mother, Lovely Key TV. When she saw sVlog, she wanted to rush to her. She gazed after her, but finally she was gone. Then she heard the call of two little fawns. "Mother, mother," they called. "Can't you stay by yourself?" said Righteous Doe. The little brother and sister were too much in awe of the great buck to answer her. Righteous Doe thought, "This little fellow pleases me. He reminds me of the face I used to see when I looked in the brook years ago. The little girl is nice too. sVlog looked like that once when we were little too." "Listen to me," said Righteous Doe to the two fawns. "You must watch and listen. Find out for yourself. You will be fine on your own." So that concludes my story for tonight. I'm going to go over the YouTubers in the story. I was especially excited to see Wolfman Gaming in the house. I was excited. I think as it scrolled up, I saw Pat Jones in the house. Let's see who all is here that I missed. Okay, so we got... Okay, yes, Pat Jones came in. She's got a smile, so I take it she was here early enough to hear her name. Wolfman's shouting out Gigi. "Hi, Frank G. How are you?" Frank G is saying, "Hey, Deborah," in chat. Gigi shouting out Pat Jones and Frank. Frank is shouting back at Gigi. Wolfman is looking, got a little smile on his face. I hope that made you feel better, Wolfman. You say you didn't have a good day today. So I hope the story brightened up your day. Pat Jones is speaking to Gigi. Edward Smart. Hi, Edward. How are you? Edward is saying hi, Wolfman Gaming. You're in the story time. Congrats. Gigi speaking to Edward. Edward, so glad you were able to join us. Hi, Cindy. Cindy's saying, welcome everybody, please thumbs up. Please guys, if you haven't thumbs up, I really appreciate it if you would. How you doing, Cindy? Frank G speaking to Cindy. Vernice is saying, please be kind and thumbs up the host. Thank you again for that reminder, Vernice. Cindy speaking to Frank. Wolfman Gaming says, thank you, Edward. Web Savvy Cafe. Web Savvy is speaking to me and everyone. Says, and then Web Cafe is speaking to 50 Plus and Bernice. Hi, is that, I'm good at butchering names, but is it Vi Scott Speaks? I hope I pronounced that right. Thank you for joining us for story time. I don't know what time you walked in or how much of the story you caught. Hopefully you caught it all. If not, you can always go back and listen to the story and replay. Web Savvy Cafe is speaking to Gigi. Gigi speaking back. Cindy says hello to Vi Scott Speaks. And Web Savvy speaking to Cindy. Gigi speaking back to Vi Scott Speaks. Vi Scott Speaks is speaking to Cindy. Web Savvy Cafe is speaking back to Vi Scott Speaks. Cindy is giving a reminder to please thumbs up and throwing some love out there. Thank you so much, Cindy. Vi Scott Speaks says hi to Gigi from Gluten Free Lab. 50 speaking to Web Savvy. Vi Scott speaking to Web Savvy. Vi Scott Speaks is speaking to Bernice. Bernice is speaking back. Hi, Miss Four Roller. How are you? Welcome, welcome. I think you may have missed our story time, but you can always go back, or I'm just lagging or whatever. But so glad that you made it in. Then we have Frank speaking back to me. Hi again, Frank. Then you have Web Savvy speaking to Miss Full Roller. Then you have Shiwana. Hi, Shiwana's Creative Circle. How are you? Hope you're feeling good today. So glad to see that you made it to story time. Then 50 is speaking to Shiwana. 50 is speaking to, okay, and says, Shiwana, okay, he sent her IG. Shiwana is speaking back to 50 Plus. Shiwana is speaking to Frank G. And Shiwana says, good, I'm here. So glad that you all made it. If I missed anybody, don't hold it against me. Charge it to my head and not to my heart. But I think I got everybody that came in while I was engaged in the story. Miss Rue says, how are you? I'll be listening, but this is the first opportunity to type in the chat. Oh, okay. I'm so glad that you caught the story. So glad. I'm going to tell you now who the story, who the YouTubers were in the story. So we all know Righteous Doe is the main character, and Righteous Doe is it's a she, and she is a YouTuber. So Righteous Doe is, and then Trisha's Vlog is a YouTuber, and Lovely Key TV is a YouTuber. Brother Herb is a YouTuber. I think most of you know Brother Herb and Lovely Key TV. I don't know how many of you know Righteous Doe, because Righteous Doe hasn't been in any of the stories, but that is somebody who's subscribed to me, or I'm subscribed to them. Let's see. Frank G is speaking to Shiwana. Miss Full Roller is speaking to Shiwana and Web Savvy. Edward Smart says, great casting for the story. Thank you, Edward. Thank you. I was surprised that I was able to use as many characters as I did in this story, and especially with the story being a story using animals. But thank you. So we have, okay, like I said, we have Lovely Key TV. And I was just talking to Icy about this in the last story time. I was like, what can I do with Icy's name? And I was trying to figure it out. At what point will I get a story that I could use her? Because her YouTube name is just the initials, IC. And I said, well, IC, maybe I can use your letters as in like your I and I see, like I'm looking at something or pondering something. And okay, good night, Vernus. So glad you were able to join me. Thanks a lot. And it just happened that this story allowed me to use IC's name in that way. And I think it really came together. So I was able to use, so wherever you heard me say IC, as if Righteous Doe was responding or pondering. Well, Savvy Cafe says, I love your background. You rival Masterpiece Theater. Thank you. So IC was the YouTuber that was used in the story. Everybody know Wolfman Gaming was one of the main characters. And Wolfman is here tonight. So hopefully the story made his night because he said he wasn't having a good day today. Thank you, Wolfman. I'm glad you liked the story. Who else we have? I think that might be all of the stories. So all of the characters. Oh, no. The other one is, and I was only able to give her a small, two of them. Give them a small cameo in there. And that was Bird. That's a YouTuber, Bird. And Mommy on Deck. Mommy on Deck. I was able to give Mommy on Deck and Bird a very small cameo in the story. And I'm looking through it to see. Oh, Barrel Boy Woods. That's a YouTuber. So Barrel Boy Woods. And Zeus the Greedy Husky. That is a YouTuber. Pat Jones says, thank you. Love the story. I'm glad you love it. And Pat Jones was also a YouTuber. Pat had a little small cameo in there. And this is, I think, the second story that Pat has been in. I don't know if you had a chance to go back, Pat, and look at the other stories and see you were featured in the story before. But several people were featured. I think this is the second one Wolfman's been featured in. I think this might be the first one, No, I might have featured Brother Herb in another one. I'm not sure. It seems like he was. But this is my first time featuring Mommy on Deck and Zeus, the Husky. Barrel Boy has been featured before. Let's see, who else? Did I miss anybody? Okay, that looks like it was everybody. So those were the people featured in the story. And they are all YouTubers. They are all YouTubers. And I just felt like because of the names, it went well. The Righteous Doe, because we're talking about deers and stuff. And Wolfman Gaming, because we had other animals. And the Zeus, the dog, and I came with Brother Herb because there was a part in there where it was a sister and a brother team. So that's when I used Trisha's vlog and her brother Herb. I used it in that manner. Hi, Lustricia Vlogs. How are you? So glad you were able to join us. Nice that you. Unfortunately, you missed the story, but you can always catch it on the replay. Wolfman Gaming is speaking to Shiwana, and Lustricia Vlog is saying hello to everybody. So glad that you were able to join us. You'll probably have to watch the story again on replay, but I'm glad that you thought enough to come out to story time. You all could have been anywhere. So I appreciate that. And Cindy's speaking to Lustricia's blog. And Wolfman is also speaking to Lustricia. So yeah, it was funny because when I picked this story, I was like, okay, this story, it has animals. Let me see what I could do. I had second thoughts about it because I was like, okay, am I going to be able to fit the characters in? But the fact that, you could give most of the characters, just give them a name, that worked out. But I like to try to get a name that flows in the story well and has some similarity. Like, for instance, I mentioned it probably before, I use Barrowboy Woods a lot of times when I have a story that has a forest, when it says there's a forest or there's woods. So that's how I come up with Barrowboy Woods. And if I have a character that has a name similar to somebody in there, Scott Speaks is story time every Saturday at the same time. No, Scott Speaks. Actually, story time used to be every night, but it was too taxing on me. So now, actually, story time is on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. So I was supposed to do story time last night, but I had chemo on Thursday. So physically, I wasn't feeling well enough to work on the story to be prepared for story time last night because of the side effects of the chemo. So I put up a message and let everybody know I was going to do story time tonight to make up for not doing story time last night. But normally story time is on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10 p.m. Eastern time. If for some reason that changes where, like I said, I do it a day after or a day before or something like that, depending on how I'm feeling physically, I'll always put up a brief message to let the viewers know. And so that's what happened. That's why I ended up doing story time tonight. Ordinarily, I would not be doing story time on Saturday anymore. So that's the new schedule. So, so you can come back and see us again. Thanks for the reminder, Cindy, for people to thumbs up. But that's how I fit the characters in based on how the story is flowing and where I think their name will fit best, or if they have a similar name to something in the story. And so that's how I'll fit them all in. V. Scott Speaks says, okay, thank you. I'm glad I was able to catch it. I'm glad you were able to catch it also. I appreciate you being here. And who knows, one day you may hear your name shouted out. I just do it at random, like I said, based on how the flow. But I'm especially excited when I have someone who walks into story time and they're actually being featured. So I get it especially excited then. I'm always excited when all of you come in to story time to see me. But I get especially excited when someone who's featured in the story actually shows up. So I was excited when I saw Wolfman in the house. And I was excited when I saw Pat come in the house. And so that's always exciting to me. 50 plus is laughing at Chiwana. Okay. But yeah, I really look forward to story time. And like I said, I took the time off yesterday to rest and to celebrate Gigi's from Gigi's Gluten-Free Lab, 50 plus, and all of us celebrated with her for her reaching her 1K. So we had a good time helping Gigi celebrate her 1K. It's a wonderful accomplishment, and I know that for each of us who actually reached that milestone, it's a great thing, and I'm looking forward to my time to come. I know that it'll come in time. And then everyone was just so wonderful, just so wonderful. And Vernus 50 plus, and you all, I just want to thank you again too. Last night, because Gigi from Gigi's Gluten Free Lab had her 1K giveaway, and she gave away $20. She was going to cash out. She did a Q&A, information about herself, and she gave away $20 to 5 people who could answer the questions right. And all of those people were so wonderful, and they contributed their winnings to me. So I was so overwhelmed yesterday and last night when they did that, you know, to think, not think of themselves, but to think of me, and they paid their winnings forward. And then it was just so exciting that Trisha Vlogs was even trying to be in the compete, you know, as much as she could, so she could get as much as she could to contribute to me. And she actually won 3 times, and everybody just forwarded their winnings over to me. So I was especially grateful to them and thankful, you know, because a little bit goes a lot further than people think. I know I was sitting at home one day, and I was thinking I wanted to, this was early on in the middle of my journey, and I was just sitting there, and I was like, man, I need to buy me a juicer. And I didn't have any money at the time that I wanted to juice. And just as I thought it and was sitting there, there was a knock at my front door. And when I went to answer the door, it was my neighbor from about 3 houses down. And she came in. Hi, Rico, from Rico's Bizarre Food. I was talking about you earlier. I was talking about us celebrating Gigi's 1K. I said, and you start talking about them bugs and things trying to kill my appetite, thinking you were going to kill my appetite because you weren't there to enjoy those jumbos, shrimp, and fish with us. But you didn't kill my appetite, Rico. I ate real good. But anyway, so just at that instant, my front door, it was a knock at my door. And my neighbor came in carrying these 2 big bags. And she said, I was thinking about you today, and I went out and bought you a juicer. And I bought you a bag of vegetables to juice. And it was like, oh my God, it's like God answered prayers. And a lot of times right in the instance before you can think it. Because a lot of times while we're trying to figure it out, he's already worked it out. Because I was just sitting there trying to figure out how I was going to get that juicer. So it's the little things, and people don't realize how that, for some people that might have seemed small and insignificant, but for me at that hour, it was such a major thing. Okay, Latrice's vlog says, still your host. Miss Full Roller is speaking to Rico. Rico says, I have much love for you, Deborah. I have much love for you too, Rico, for each and every one of you. I told you I would love to meet you all one day in person. Shawana is speaking to Rico, and Latricia's vlog by Scott Speaks says yes. And Rico says, hey to Miss Full Roller. Yeah, so like I said, to some people that might have seemed small and insignificant. But for me that day, it was a great big gesture, and I was so appreciative because it came right at the time that I needed it. Hi, Tomahawk Hunts Coins, how are you? So glad you can stop by and see us. Unfortunately, you missed our story for tonight, so you'd have to go back and see it on the replay. And Web Savvy Cafe is saying hey to Rico Poos. Tomahawk is speaking to Rico. And Rico's speaking to Shiwana. But I'm not going to prolong the time. How are you? I'm well. I'm well, Tomahawk Hunts Coins. I'm well. So I'm not going to prolong the time because I know that you all have other things. We all have lives outside of YouTube. And plus, I want to go ahead and get to bed. And it's been a long day. I will come in earlier next time. Okay, that's fine. I know we're making our rounds, and a lot of times we can't get there. And, you know, even though I was doing my live, if I didn't have to use both of my devices, I would have been in somebody else's live as well. But I was using both of my devices, so... But I understand because we have to make our rounds. But yeah, Tomahawk Hunts Coins story time is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday nights, 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. I don't do it every night anymore. So it'll be on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If I should change the schedule, I always throw up a brief message out there for people to view so they'll know whether it's canceled, moved over, moved up, or whatever the case may be. But I want to tell you all, thanks so much for coming. I love you all. Always remember, until we meet again, may his peace be with you. And always remember, I have a will to live. Good night.